Yeah, and this discussion on values, if we're talking about trying to uncover our own personal values or building organization or team values, because now we see this more commonly talked about, and people are trying to be more introspective, or have their group, whether it's a clinical group, a performance group, et cetera, or company. Are there strategies you use that are different between an individual or organization, or what are some of the tools that you might use to help an individual or an organization start to uncover what their values really are?
Yeah, I think they're similar, but I guess I frame them a little differently. So, I think for me, kind of my sort of go-to exercise for thinking about individual level values is just helping people think about how they want to be remembered at, say, their 90th birthday party or their retirement party. Imagine that you're at the end of your professional career and everybody that matters to you, living or dead, shows up and they're all going to get up and say something about you. Like, not what would they say today, but what do you want them to say about who you are as a person and what you meant to them? And people will come back with some incredibly insightful and deep motivating things like, oh, I want to be remembered as a really kind person, or as the person who always helped other people, or as an achiever. And all of that's great, but people just don't often get the chance to give voice to that. And so I think
Mhm.
just having someone ask those kinds of questions can be illuminating. And so that's the individual way I tend to unpack it, because I think those are events that people can imagine without having to live, and can
Mhm.
really sort of put themselves in those shoes. And sometimes it can help to go through a little bit of like a guided imagery to really get into it. But I think the crux of the activity is around imagining that. And I kind of extrapolate that out to the team level or organization level, which is, imagine in 50 years, they're going to get your organization back together and recognize you as, the best team that we've had in the company. Like, how do you want to be talked about? What do you want to be recognized for? What does best really mean? What kind of qualities did you have? How did you pass on your knowledge? How did you work together? Who are you as individuals, as teammates? Like, how did you connect with people? I think those activities can be helpful. And then there obviously are steps after the identifying the values, but
Yeah.
I think those are the ways I think about sort of bringing to light some of them. And I've heard some other really fun, creative ways. So the other really fun one I like is, people are more used to this now, is the ESPN 30 for 30 concept. So it's kind of like, if they made a 30 for 30 about you,
Nice.
what
Who
would
would
it
be in
be
it?
called? Yeah,
What
who
would it
would
be
be in
called?
it? What would it be called? And what would it be about? And
Yeah.
what would I learn if I watched you in this 30 for 30? What would I learn about you? And I think the
Yeah.
same thing can go with a team. If they made a 30 for 30 documentary about, the Elon Musk team that launched the rocket, like, what do
Mm.
you want people to know about you? What do you want people to
Mhm.
see? I think those kinds of questions are interesting.